Hi, my name is Peter Tapio, president of Terra Technics, Geotechnical Contractors, and I'm here to explain the circumstances and the matter-of-fact realities that occurred in the construction of the 37 foundations at the Johnston substation power plant. We understand Pacific Corps' concerns and their desire to further understand the cost between the original plan design and the final plan. However, we want to illustrate the actual events that led to the extended duration and the means and methods that were required, specifically and namely the vacuum excavation in lieu of mechanical excavation. Prior to bid, question 58 was asked relative to the topic of mechanical excavation within the existing substations. And it was addressed that mechanical excavation and drilling is allowed if potholing is done prior. However, as the actual conditions became evident that the unknown utilities were not either easily located or unknown in their location, the ability to do any mechanical excavation was banned and terminated, and the only resulting means of excavation was by vacuum excavation. This in turn interrupted the flow of work, particularly the size of excavations that remained from the potholing, as well as the identification of existing utilities that were found till they were determined they were left to be exposed, and then ultimately interrupting the flow of available work to other sites and locations within the substation. In addition to the vacuum excavation requirement and the constraints that it posed, winter weather and the delayed start became an issue. The delayed start began in November and encompassed the holiday season of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and in turn punctuated the sequence and flow of work and extended the work further than what would have been contemplated with a summer project start. The original as-bid schedule to install grouted micropiles on reinforced concrete footings in the summer, the CERT 37 foundations, is an 8-week duration. The same design, 37 foundations, reinforced concrete, grouted micropiles, considering the constraints of vacuum excavation in the winter weather with the actual start date in November, is a 25-week duration. And the bottom actual as-built with the helical pile grillage metallized foundations with the VAC-X in the winter, which is the as-built actual duration, is 18 weeks with a net savings of a 7-week duration.
Hello, my name is Wade Webb. I work with Terra Technics. I was the superintendent on site for the Johnston power plant. I would like to provide visual aids and commentary to help everyone understand the hurdles that were overcome during this project. Thank you. Our original proposal was with no overhead, all demolition being completed, and level gravel to work off of. We were going to access through the gate, begin on the south, and work our way going north, getting these structures done. By the time we reached this section, which would be just south of the first breaker pad on the south, we were going to bring in our concrete crew and have them start excavating, forming, and pouring behind us. As we progress through here, they would be pouring behind us. We could stockpile our material for backfill compaction at these locations, and as we worked through, they would pull from those to do their backfill and compaction. we're planning on working our way north and exiting through these gates out here. Our original proposal was to come in with no overhead, no outages. Our secondary proposal was with an outage. We would come through, we would have to open up a gate in the fence. Then we could bring all of our equipment through here. We would lay out water tank, vac truck for our drilled shaft, spin-off area, drill, man lift, concrete pump, concrete trucks. We had this set up to where all of our equipment would fit in there, but this pushed off to the winter, which meant putting a water tank in, stretching this much line, bringing a pump truck in, trying to cure this and seal it in the wintertime became impractical at best, and eventually non-constructible. This video is intended to show the as-built conditions after bidding, mobilization to site to begin work, and late notice of vacuum excavation. GSW was forced to do VAC-X potholing and trenching at all locations needing ground penetration. Terra Technics had to wait to follow them. Terra began on site on 11/30/2023 to install helical anchors and grillages for the north outage. No work was available inside the substation for approximately 1 week. Then Terra performed the south outage. The job site was then shut down for the holidays and for GSW to perform demolition, also to get ahead on the VAC-X. On 1/15/2024, Terra Technics traveled back to the site. On 1/18/2024, Terra entered the substation to begin installation of helical anchors. Picture number 1, approved test locations. On 11/17/2023, Wade, called Danny Quinn, over locates at test locations. I was notified that no setting of anchors was permitted. There was also to be a Teams call at 2 p.m. to discuss locates and test anchor locations. At 2 p.m., the Teams meeting required vacuum excavating all anchor locations. The south test, picture number 2. Approximately 4 p.m., I met with Steve Nickerson and Annie of Dave Johnston Powerplant and was informed the southeast corner of the access road and line access road between the overhead power lines would be okay to drive anchors as nothing was underground there. On 11/18/2023, Steve worked with Terex Hydrovac and potholed both the north and south testing locations. Picture number 3. At approximately 1 p.m., commenced install test anchor at the north test location. At 17 feet, water was observed rising in the vacuum excavated portion of the hole. As groundwater is high in this project, we continued to termination depth of 24 feet. Water continued up to ground level and began to puddle. At approximately 3 p.m., Steve Nickerson went to find a pump to keep water out of cable trays, and Terra Technics set up on the south test location. Picture number 4, 12-inch water line. At approximately 4 p.m., Terra began reaction anchor A-4, then A-2, then the test anchor, then A-3. At approximately 4:30 p.m., Terra Technics struck a pressurized water source. Steve and Annie were both notified. At approximately 5:30 p.m., Annie asked Terra to remove the A3 anchor and excavate to find source of water. Water was diverted and Terra excavated to find a 12-inch HDPE pipe. A patch was located and Terra installed.
In conclusion, the impacts of cost associated with the change orders that we are discussing are the vacuum excavation, the time delay, and the delayed start of the work are the primary factors that we are trying to address in this message and illustrate with the information we've shared. We trust that the information conveyed in this video illustrates the complexity of the project, the constraints that we had to overcome, and accomplish the completion of this in the most efficient way possible.